Hey everybody, Jeremy here. So I have been collecting toys and action figures for a while now. And just about every video that I've done where I talked about a toy or a collectible or statue or something like that, there's always been like a display behind me. And I've moved this around in the different places that I lived for years. And the problem is I've never had a large enough space to just display everything that I've amassed. So I had to pick and choose what figures I wanted to display, and everything else was put inside these storage bins and stuffed into a closet, and I just forgot about them for years. So today we're going to be going down memory lane. I'm going to bring out some of those storage containers. I'm going to look through them, and I'm just going to remember the things that I purchased and for one reason or another put away and just forgot about. So I'm pretty sure this is going to spark up a lot of memories of the figures that I collected over the years, and maybe even encourage me to maybe make a little bit more room to put some of those old favorites back on the shelf. So I have two of those storage containers. I'm only going to go through one in this video. I'm going to make another one where we go through the second box together. But for now, let's take a look at all the things that's in box number one. One of the first big properties that I started collecting years ago were Funko Pops, and my goodness, I think I probably bought maybe about 200 of those things, maybe even more. But I want to show you the one that started it all. He's broken, but this is the thing that started it all. Little baby Groot. And I had purchased this because I was looking at a video. I don't know if you guys remember the Brick Show. They were like the #1 Lego review YouTube channel back then. And I remember looking at one of the videos and I saw a baby Groot figure in one of those videos, and I'm not sure if it was a Funko Pop, but I just remember when I saw it, I was like, that is so cool. I would love to have one of those just to put on a desk or something. I looked up baby Groot figures. This was one of the first ones that popped up. It was at Toys R Us, and I thought, well, that's probably it. So I bought it. And that's when the Funko Pop train started, and it just went downhill from there. I purchased so many darn Pops over the years. I don't really buy them anymore. Now I do maybe one or two every year or something. So I'm not heavy with those anymore, but this is the one that started it all. And, you know, I think that it's important. It's important. You know, because it started the snowball. It definitely started the snowball. And I figure, since we're kind of like on that subject of Funko related stuff, here are two things that I pulled out. Here are two other Funko figures that I pulled out. I can't remember what was the name of this particular line, but it was along the same lines of things they always did, take popular franchises and they make these stylized figures out of them. And this was just from the 66 Batman and Robin, and they all had like this really skinny body and these squished faces, and these were sort of a big deal at the time, a long time ago. I don't think they make these types anymore, but at the time I was, you know, into them, you know, because they were definitely different. So I don't remember the names of these. Let me know if you remember the names of these types of figures in this particular line, but I just wanted to bring these out since we were talking about Funko stuff. And then another thing that I saw as I was going through the Funko stuff were the competitors of Funko products. So you might know Jada Toys, they make these die-cast cars. That's what they're known for. And they have done some figures as well. And years ago, trying to kind of compete with this small vinyl Funko Pop craze that was going on, they started making these little die-cast metal figures. And this is one of the bigger ones, but they also made smaller ones as well, like this one, this Mark I Iron Man. So this was the standard form, and then these were like the bigger ones. And these were available at like Toys R Us, and they had the stylized, small, you know, kind of cute stature to them like Funko Pops do. But they kind of stood out because they like to use die cast. So like this is a big chunky piece of metal right here. So that's what made this figure kind of cool. And this one is Batman from, was it Dawn of Justice, I think? And he had this removable helmet. So, you know, that's what he looks like underneath. The helmet is removable and the helmet is die cast. It's nice and hard. And then he also lights up because there was a button on the back of his head that when you press it, his lights come on. Now I just had this for years and hey, it still works. So this was kind of a neat thing that they were doing back then. I don't know if they still make these figures, but they made a bunch of them, and they made like a big Iron Man, and it kind of was fitting that he was also made of die cast because he was Iron Man. But yeah, that one made its way into the box and never did come back. Here is a really cool figure. Now this is Mr. Freeze. This is from, I think, DC Collectibles. It was a DC Collectibles Mr. Freeze. He also came with a gun. I can't find the gun. It's probably in a box or in a bag somewhere. But if I take his little dome off, the detail on this figure is really, really good. And this is something that I would love to see McFarlane do. I don't think McFarlane's done a Mr. Freeze figure yet, but I would love to see that happen. And, you know, I don't know why he was in the box, but this is a really nice figure. I mean, just look at that skin. They did a great job with the paint all around. The suit is texturized. I can't really say that word. And he stands up so easily by himself. Really, really good. And I think that he is in the 7-inch scale, so he probably works well with the McFarlane DC Multiverse stuff right now. I'm going to put him on the shelf back there anyway and get a sense of how he looks compared to the other figures. But yeah, we need a Mr. Freeze in the McFarlane DC Multiverse line, and I hope that they can do one that's as good as this one, because the DC Collectibles version, this was just amazing. And then another one that I found, he has a broken leg, but this was also from DC Collectibles. This was a Red Hood. It's funny because I just did a Red Hood review, but you know, this one isn't the former Robin. This is the Joker. Way back when as the Red Hood. So, you know, he's got that smile underneath. This little part here doesn't come off. He's got this pickaxe, and I also think he came with a gun. Not sure how his leg broke, but I can probably fix that with a little bit of super glue. Articulation on this guy, it's not the best in the world because you got this jacket on. It's very restrictive. The articulation on Mr. Freeze is really good though. But yeah, this is awesome. This is a really good figure. I might just leave him out and just kind of fill in the gaps for some of the DC Multiverse stuff until they actually get around to making figures like this. So I was really happy with those. Now another figure that I wanted to show. I was, well, still am, a really big fan of the first 3 Mass Effect games. I think I said it before. The Mass Effect series is my favorite video game trilogy of all time. And I think the company that made these Mass Effect figures called like Big Fish, something like that. And they were available at Toys R Us. And I remember going there and I saw other figures. I saw Shepard. I think there was a Miranda. But I just didn't pick those up. And by the time I decided that I was going to get them, they were gone. And the only ones left were this Grunt and Thane. And I think that Thane was probably the least popular figure, and I think Grunt was probably the second least popular figure, but these were the only ones I was able to get my hands on. And I don't know what weapons they came with. I have this gun off to the side, so I'm not sure if this was Grunt's weapon or if this just belongs to something else. And I don't know if this pistol belonged to Thane or if this pistol belongs to something else. I'm not sure. But these were some really cool video game figures, and we don't really have many Mass Effect figures to begin with. You know, there's some statues and stuff, but as far as the older games, the first 3 games, Andromeda, doesn't really, not thinking about that. But I really wish I would have gotten the other ones as well, because I love these games. But these found their way into the box and never came out. Along with this guy. This was a Groot Splicer, another great series and another really great game. And this is just a big, chunky, massive piece of plastic. This is a NECA figure, I believe. And detail on him, really, really good. This is one of those figures, I don't think that he was all that popular. It was one of the least popular figures, but he is definitely very well designed. And if you didn't know where it came from, and maybe you just wanted to make some kind of display of big, gigantic, horrible, monstrous looking people, zombies or something like that, I think he can totally fit in because he's just a beast. He's a monster, I tell you. Now, I mentioned McFarlane. I should have showed this before after the Mr. Freeze figure, but I wanted to show you this guy. So McFarlane used to do these color tops. Color tops were basically these action statues. They came with the bases, they were pre-posed, they had limited and somewhat useless articulation. Like, for example, articulation that kind of does this and kind of does this, but they were supposed to be posed in a certain way. Now, this is a character from the first season of Fear the Walking Dead, when they still made those characters. And I want you to see something. See if you can get nice and close. What's one thing that you notice about this guy? You figured it out yet? Look at his eyes. Side eyes. This guy's got side eyes. So this is something that McFarlane has been doing for a very, very long time. And I kind of feel like he's kind of going back to that. People complained that these were not articulated enough. They wanted action figures. They didn't want these statues. McFarlane pushed back until he eventually gave in. The DC Multiverse line was born. We had that cool articulation. Everything was going good. Kind of like a Marvel Legends-ish equivalent for the DC universe. But then they started back with the side eyes. So it's definitely a thing. It runs in the company. So I don't know, man. Hopefully he backs off on that stuff. Another group of figures that were really popular with toy hunters back in the day was the Jakks Pacific World of Nintendo line. The World of Nintendo line included a bunch of characters from Nintendo properties, mostly Mario, but also Zelda, obviously, Metroid. And if you look back years ago and look at toy hunting videos, how people would go to look at like Masters of the Universe and Marvel Legends and stuff now, World of Nintendo would have been on that list back then. And I got a bunch of these figures, and it's like half of them are on the shelf and the other half were in the box. There were a lot of variants. So this was this dark Link, and then here's another Link, all drastically different from each other. Here's kind of like a more classic Link. And then I also have a Jakks Pacific, really big version. He's like 18 inches or something. He's sitting up top of the DTOF display. And then here's another Link. It's like the Toon Link. This one is pretty cool. He's got these little tiny feet though, so he's kind of hard to stand up. But you know, he's got the sword. You got that on the back, cool looking Toon Link. And then you got this thing. What's this, like Majora's Mask or something like that? Yeah, so these figures you were able to get, we would hunt in Toys R Us. God, I miss that place. You know, Canada still has it though. Toys R Us, Walmart, Target, and Walgreens. We used to always go to Walgreens to try to find figures there. You used to be able to sometimes find some real gems there. And then when you move over to Metroid, different versions of Samus as well. There was a Metroid as well. The Metroid was, it was kind of hard to find at first. Then it got kind of easier as the months went on. So that's one version of Samus. And then here's another version of Samus. And then here's another version of Samus. I still had them in the poses that they were in when I first put them in the box, when they were still on display. Yeah, that World Nintendo line, I think they still sell Nintendo figures, Jakks Pacific does, but it doesn't hit like it used to, as the kids say. So this guy saw an emergence in like 2021 on USA, had another show, this Child's Play Chucky. And this was from Mezco. Mezco is known for making some more higher end, more expensive figures, but this guy was pretty inexpensive, and I got him from Toys R Us. He was probably like around $20-ish or so. So he's just a vinyl figure, but the detail on him is really nice. Look at that. Look at that face. The damage on the head, scars on the hand. Like here it is on this side. Yeah, like a little scar on the hand. Stands up really cool. Kind of creepy, you know? Kind of creepy, but I like him. He's been in the box, terrorizing everybody else. And then also, I don't know exactly where this Kingdom Hearts Mickey was from. I want to say maybe Diamond Select. I don't know. But Mickey Mouse from Kingdom Hearts, and then I also have this Pluto here, also from Kingdom Hearts. So I'm wondering, did I stop with these guys, or did I have a Goofy and a Donald? And if I do, I don't know why I took them off display. The first Kingdom Hearts game I loved. I think the second one I liked too, but then Kingdom Hearts just got really weird and convoluted and hard to understand. And then it was like the latest one, like Kingdom Hearts 3. I was so confused. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't get far in it. It's just, they had so many weird offshoots, and then they all kind of tried to bring it back together. But I still have fond memories of the first Kingdom Hearts and Kingdom Hearts 2. So that's why I got this Mickey with the Keyblade. And then, oddly enough, this was the only figure I think that I ever got from this Dragon Stars line. Dragon Ball, Dragon Stars. And they still sell these. And I was kind of hoping that they would continue to sell these figures when the first line came out, the first wave came out. And it was successful. And they have so many different figures now. And they're affordable. They're like 20 bucks or so. And the articulation on these guys is really good. You get double jointed everything. You can get some really awesome poses out of them. I mean, just as easy. Look how easy I was able to do that. I mean, this is more like a Goku stance and not a Vegeta stance, but you kind of get the point. And I just don't know why I didn't purchase more of these guys. I mean, these are really, really good figures. You know, I got all these Marvel Legends in the back, and I wasn't into them for the longest time, but for some reason I neglected the Dragon Stars line. So I might have to rectify that. So I'm going to try to go out, look for some more of these Dragon Stars figures, because I think they're good. I think that they are really good. Speaking of Marvel Legends, this one just kind of came out of the box. Falcon. I think that it's a pretty cool figure. He came with wings. Unlike the Captain America Sam Wilson, that the wings were a Build-A-Figure. But with this guy, they actually gave you the wings that you can just put on him. So I might have to leave him out and put him on the Marvel Legends shelf, along with Maria Hill. I think she came in a 2-pack along with Agent Coulson. Coulson is probably in the other box. We'll see soon enough. But yeah, I should definitely put them out together, you know, because who doesn't like Agent Coulson, right? Good stuff there. We're getting close to the end. What else do we have here? You know, a long time ago, I did a video where I purchased literally a couple of trash bags full of these old, I think they were like Toy Biz Marvel figures. And then this was one of the ones that I opened up that I had a duplicate of just to see how things were back then. So this is this Venom, and just kind of look at him. You know, he's just stocky and small. These were the action figures of yesteryear. And they had these action elements. So when you squeeze the legs together, he does this. My name is Venom. You know, you get the point. So yeah, it was a couple of these that I opened up. I think I opened up like a lizard and maybe something else. I still have those bags filled of those unopened, carded, I want to say Toy Biz, I might be wrong, but it was these really old Marvel figures. I still have those. One day, I'll figure out something to do with them. Let's see, last couple figures here. I'm not into horror. But one day, I think I was probably in like South Carolina or something. I was in a Toys R Us, and then I just wanted to buy a figure. And I saw this Freddy Krueger, and I was like, okay, sure. This is a NECA figure. This particular Freddy, his arm likes to come off. Of course, it's not going to do it now that I'm trying to show you. But he also came with some interchangeable heads. I think 2 interchangeable heads. One of them has like a cross burned into it or something. And also a little tiny, little creepy little Freddy Krueger figure as well. So, and then this part also kind of comes off. This chest piece, it comes off, and you can just put like his regular sweater on if you wanted to. But detail is there. Look at that. I mean, it's a NECA figure. They do really, really good at this stuff. So this is the only horror figure I have. I don't have any Jasons or anything else from a horror franchise. But yeah, I bought this guy. I don't even know if I even displayed him. But there you go. There he is. All right. And one of the last things here. This Heisenberg Walter White from Breaking Bad. I think this was a Mezco figure. And when it came out, I want to say I paid like $50 or $60 for this, which these days when I look at this statue and be like, man, this was like 50, 60 bucks. Man, times have changed because I don't think it's worth it at this point. But you see, he has this gun molded in. He has this hat that can come off. He also came with sunglasses, and he had a bag of blue meth. That's got to be around here somewhere. But good old Walter White. And, well, actually, these aren't figures, but back in the day, remember fidget spinners? People were really, really into fidget spinners back in the day. There's always seemed to be like a gimmick with things that's supposed to ease anxiety and stuff like that. And they got those little bubble popper things now. But fidget spinners was the huge thing back in the day. And, you know, I just had these companies contacting me, asking me if I could check out their fidget spinners. And back then I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. So I came across all of these boxes of fidget spinners and I want to look at them. So let's just kind of take a look at this old fad. All right, so this was one of those fidget spinners. This one looks like it's just kind of like a black chrome-ish kind of thing. So that one isn't very exciting. But, you know, considering I think there was a lot of fidget spinners that were like, you know, plastic and toys and stuff. Ooh, I remember this one. I'm going to leave that one for last. All right, so let's look at this one here. What was this one? Okay, so this one was kind of like, what's the word? Like iridescent? Kind of like rainbow-ish colors for this fidget spinner. These things used to be like so cool. They were like fidget spinners, and I think before that everybody was super into yo-yos at one point. So they had yo-yos that lit up and made sounds and stuff, and it all just ends up in a landfill somewhere. Here's another one. These were all from the same company. So this one is just straight up chrome. But compared to the ones that you would see like at Walmart and Target and, you know, things like that, these were definitely higher quality fidget spinners. Because they're heavy. And they're made of metal. All right, this one, I'll figure out how to put that one back in the box. This last one, dude. Yeah, it's a fidget spinner. Okay. But it is also a freaking pocket knife. They actually made a pocket knife fidget spinner. I never used this, but this thing, it's kind of sharp. It is kind of sharp. A pocket knife fidget spinner, but why? You know, but I guess if you wanted to combine two of your favorite things at the time, fidgeting and then, oh, hold on for a second, I gotta do something. Yeah, I kind of like that sound though. The sound of, let's see, can you hear it? Listen. I'll do it one more time. If I can figure out how to close it. Okay. You talking to me over there? I got something for you. Yeah, I like that sound of opening up the knife. But yeah, fidget spinners, those were also a whole bunch of those that I had, and there's probably some more in that other box. But yeah, guys, that was box one of my collectibles that I forgot that I had. Well, I didn't forget I had them, but I just kind of forgot what was in those boxes. I know this is a long video, but I just wanted to share that with you. Stay tuned for the second video where I go through another box that I think has even more stuff in it than this one does. So I'm going to sort these out, figure out which ones are eventually going to make it back onto the shelf, which ones are going back in the box, and yeah, we'll see where that goes. So thanks so much for watching. Until next time, I'm Jeremy McFarlane. Give us a Mr. Freeze. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.